What's up everyone, my name is Sunny and you are watching Sunny English. For this video we're going to be looking at the PTE Describe Image task, part of the speaking tasks. And a lot of times people have difficulty with this task because they get stuck on the content. They don't know what to say. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to analyze the information given to you and have a smooth talk track. Before we go into that, I want to simply go over what the task consists of for those that are not familiar with it. And so you're going to be given graphs, images, diagrams, pie charts, for example, bar charts, line graphs, and so on. So it's not just limited to what I have already shown you. They actually sometimes combine it or double it, giving you, for example, 2 pie charts. Okay, and for each image you are given 25 seconds to analyze the information, and after the 25 seconds you are required to speak for 40 seconds. For most people, you probably would not have that smile on your face because you will be nervous. You will probably look something like this, but keep calm. It is not as hard as you think. Okay, so this is what we're going to be focusing on today to help you ease your way into the speaking. All right, so what we want to understand is the scoring before we go any further. Now, for the speaking tasks and all PTE speaking tasks, you are scored in these 3 areas: content, pronunciation, fluency. Now, they do, in the scoring sections, they do put content as number 1. I don't know why, but that probably intimidates people because you would think content would be the most important thing. However, it is not. Content is probably, I would say, the least important area out of all 3 of the scoring. So it might make you feel better if we switch it around and have it look something like this: pronunciation, fluency, and then content. I've made a few videos with regards to pronunciation, so this one is mostly going to focus on fluency and a little bit on content. The content is to help you not think too much about it. Okay, so these are the 3 areas where they're scored, where you're scored on, and I'm going to be looking at the boosting the fluency. If we look at the 4 things that I would focus on, the first one is the time. Now, you are given 40 seconds. You don't want to be exact. I wouldn't suggest stopping at 40 seconds. That's a little bit difficult. What you want to do is pay attention to the time. I don't suggest you stop at 40 again, so don't get cut off before you finish. So I would suggest speaking between 37 to 38 seconds. This has been working for me and people that I have worked with. You might have heard something else, something different. Whatever works. So I wouldn't say there's one absolute time that you need to stop at. Second is the data. You want to go into this speaking task knowing what you're looking for each time, each graph or image or diagram that you're given. So for this example, I'm going to be using the pie chart. And every time we see or given, when we are given a pie chart, we're going to be looking for the same information. And then we need to have a talk track, which I will provide for you. Having a template so you're prepared and you're saying the same thing every time. It's a pre-planned script, so it flows. You will have the fluency because you're not really thinking anymore. You're just repeating back the same things you have practiced over and over again. And lastly, this is what they call a conclusion, but I don't like to call it that, but in the scoring section they do call it a conclusion, so I'll just call it what it is. But this is where you might want to give your opinion on what you have learned from the information given to you. So in the talk track, in the template, I will show you where you input that information. So this is where we start. But I want to give you a disclaimer. Again, I mentioned earlier, I said to speak for about 37 to 38 seconds. I will give you the information that you need to be looking for and the talk track that you can save for this task. But it's never absolute. There's always people with other options. I would not say that they're wrong. So if you feel like that mine is not working for you, feel free to use theirs. I'm just sharing you my opinion on things that have worked for me and the people that I've worked with. Here we go. All right, so develop the outline for a pie chart. This is an example pie chart. So there are 5 things that we're going to be doing in each pie chart. Every time we're giving a single pie chart. I say single, and the reason is because sometimes you get double pie charts. Sometimes you get a pie chart and a line chart. So for this purpose, we're just looking at one pie chart. The first thing you want to do is introduce the pie chart. What do we see? Okay, and then we want to identify the largest proportion. And then we identify the second largest proportion, followed by the smallest proportion. And the last thing I do would be conclude with my opinion. If you listen to the sample answers from Pearson, sometimes the speakers give their opinion before the end, and that is fine as well. But I don't do that. I save it to the end, and you'll see it in the template. And this is the template. So for example, I have stated the purpose of the graph, or what it is displaying, and then I have the largest proportion, the second, and then the lowest proportion or the smallest proportion, followed by an opinion of the graph. So number 1, the given pie chart shows the most common New Year's resolutions that people make. From an overall perspective, we can see that health accounts for the largest proportion at 35%, followed by finance, which accounts for the second largest proportion at 20%. In contrast, family represents the smallest proportion at 5%. One thing that clearly stands out is that people tend to think about themselves before they think about family. That's just my opinion, because you have 5% on the New Year's resolution. So they're mainly making resolutions for themselves and not about family. That's the last thing they think about. So I just put that in there. Is there only one answer? No, absolutely not. Content is not the most important thing. You just want to be able to speak with fluency. No hesitations, no repetitions, and no corrections. Okay, so if you look at the information that I gave you, most of the content that we said, it's from a template. It's a pre-written script. And the areas in bold, that is what we are replacing with the information from the pie chart. Okay, so does it only work for this pie chart? See for yourself. So I will use it for another pie chart, and here we have superhero movies, or superhero movies earnings. So I replaced the intro. The given pie chart shows the earnings for the latest superhero movies. From an overall perspective, we can see that Batman accounts for the largest proportion at 448 million, followed by Iron Man, which accounts for the second largest proportion at 408 million. In contrast, Wolverine represents the smallest proportion at 125 million. One thing that clearly stands out is that superhero movies are quite popular. That is my assessment. That's my opinion on what I see from the information given to me. Again, I use the exact same talk track template. I replaced the words in bold. From number 2, 3, and 4, you can see that I just took the information and put it into the template. And we are just repeating the same thing over and over again. When you have that repetition, you will have your fluency. You're not thinking as much. You're not saying you're not saying you're not repeating yourself, and you're not hesitating with the pause of over 3 seconds, which we all know that if you pause for over 3 seconds, the mic shuts off and your task is done. You move on to the next one. Okay, I have one more example, another pie chart, and this one's dealing with the largest country by area. The given pie chart shows the largest countries by area. From an overall perspective, we can see that Russia accounts for the largest proportion at 11.5%, followed by Canada, which accounts for the second largest proportion at 6.7%. In contrast, Australia represents the smallest proportion at 5.2%. One thing that clearly stands out is that Russia roughly doubles the land area of Canada. I didn't actually have a real opinion about this. I just noticed that Russia is a big country, so I just said it doubled something. So Canada was the closest thing, so roughly doubles. Okay, so what we notice is we're just replacing minor details from the template, from the talk track. So you can see from 2, 3, and 4 again, we're only replacing the largest proportion, the second largest, and then the smallest. And that is the purpose of a template, where you're going in with a pre-planned script without too much thinking. You go in, every time you're given a pie chart, you know the information that you're looking for, which is 3. And then you give a brief assessment of what you learned from the information given to you. Okay? All right, so if you want a copy of this template, I will put a link to the Facebook group below. The templates are available, or additional templates are actually available in that group, so you can feel free to join it and download it. All right, thank you for watching. If you have comments or questions, leave them below. If you need templates or bookings, please visit justasksunny.com.au, and don't forget to subscribe.